In this video we are taking these along to a Santa run. What is up everybody, and welcome back to 40 runs. So, real life test today. We're taking the Takumi Sen 8 along to a 10k Santa run in London. Now you might think he's gone mad and this is not a real test and all that kind of stuff, but I think it is, because I bought this shoe as, well mainly I bought this shoe because Ben at Is Running, check out his YouTube channel, said that these were like the best things ever, and he's like my Essex cousin and we're very similar. We're both young, we're both good looking, and we both run similar times. But he said they're awesome. So you know what? I got a amazing cheap code for these, and they brought them down from £170 to £119. So I thought I'm gonna have some of that. We'll come on to, you know, all the other stuff later on in the video, but I thought to myself, you know, I'm doing this 10k this weekend. It is a race. Okay, I'm dressed up as Santa, but it's real life. So let's see what they're like. So I did a 5k on Friday. I did the 10k yesterday, and I've done another 5k today. Just put 3 runs through them now. I'm not going to be able to give you a definitive review on this shoe based on what I've done, but I wanted to give you my first impressions. I wanted to let you know a little bit about the shoe, how I found it, and all that kind of stuff. But you know what, I just thought it'd be a bit of a laugh really, more than anything else, to take this sort of super shoe along, dress up as Santa and run a fast 10k. And we are ready to go. Look, be fair. Pulled out all the stops. I'm going to lose this after about 2 minutes, I reckon. Probably not even that. So I'm going to go meet the rest of the guys. We'll change, ready to go. These are strapped on. Let's get to that start line and get this 10k done. They weren't too bad, 46 and change. I'll take that. I was melting, and it wasn't the shoes' fault. Shoes did well, but let's head back to the studio and we'll talk about these awesome shoes. So what do you think on my efforts? I look pretty good. I tell you what though, that was hard work. Absolutely melted at about lap 3 on that. It was such hard work in that Santa suit. And you know what? The other thing I've noticed is that my speed has definitely dropped. Now I don't know how much of that is to do with the fact I was in the Santa suit, but I ran a 10k the other week, and I ran that 45 minutes, and I was sort of stopping. I waited for Si. I was filming, I was mucking about and all that kind of stuff, and it felt relatively effortless. But that run yesterday, it did feel harder. It was 46 minutes and change, but it just felt harder. So maybe I've dropped a little bit of fitness where I'll be doing less miles because I've had to. But yeah, interesting though. Let me know in the comments. Is it actually noticeably slower running in a Santa outfit? Let me know. But more importantly, you're here to find out about the Takumi Sen 8. So let's get stuck in. So, right, one of the most hyped shoes I've seen for a long time, the Takumi Sen 8. This is a big departure, if you follow Adidas or Adidas, from the original Takumi Sen. Now, I've never run in Takumi Sen, and if you're new to the channel, I don't really get on with Adidas shoes at all. I've recently played about with the Adi Star, which I've been kind of getting on all right with, but I couldn't get on with the Adios Pro 2 because it was too unstable. I didn't even bother trying the Prime X because I knew that thing would be a massive failure for me. The Ultra Boost 22 is just a waste of money. But I was interested in this because of the lower stack version of, I think this is like a lower stack version of the Adios Pro 2. Let me know in the comments if you managed to get it and if you think the same. But the Adios Pro 2 for me was just that little bit unstable. It's pitched as a 5k, 10k racing shoe. I think this is the way we're going in 2022 in terms of like super niche shoes. So you've got like the Nike Street Flyer coming, you've got the SC, now it's either the Racer or the Pacer, you guys will know better than me, coming out from New Balance later on in the year, which is again, that 5k shoe. And this is like Adidas version of that. I'll tell you what, let's do the stats and features first, and then we'll get into how I felt, what it's like over the last 3 runs.
Okay, so the shoe's got a 6mm drop. We've got the energy rods in it that come in the other shoes from Adidas. We've got Continental rubber on the outside. We've got a very, very thin, high abrasive rubber on the lateral side, which is there to add traction, and it is very sticky, but I do have some wear and tear concerns over that. You'll see the energy rods there. We've got the energy rods there as well. We've got Light Strike Pro. The shoe's got 33 mil stack in the heel. We've got the Celamesh 2.0 upper, got a gusseted tongue. We've got probably the worst laces I've seen on a £170 shoe. There's no real heel count, well, there's no heel counter. This is literally just a racing flat strapped to some energy rods and some Light Strike Pro. In terms of fit, it is quite noticeable, the pinch in here. Just be aware of your sizing. Now, this is a UK 9.5 and it's okay for me, but I did notice the first run, not the last two, but the first run I had a noticeable pinch in here, but it has eased off while I've played around with the lacing. The other thing, and I noticed this on the 10k, not the 2.5ks, is I got a slight discomfort across the front of the top of my foot. Now, I don't know that again whether that's my lacing or whether it's because my socks are slightly thick. I was wearing the Say Sky merino wool socks in that video, and maybe they were a pinch too thick for a racing flat. I know I don't know about you, but when I'm wearing a racing shoe for like a short distance, I tend to wear a very thin sock. So maybe that's my fault, not the shoe's fault. But just watch your sizing on these people. But for me, I think if you've got a very wide foot, I'd avoid it. And also just check your size. It might even be worth, if you're buying these online, to order 2 sizes in. So just double check that. In terms of colourways, they come with this awesome blue and sort of pink colour, which I wish I got. But I was able to get these with the discount code that I got these down to £119 versus £170. And I really want to talk about the price. I think £170 is an absolute take. I really think it is too strong, and Adidas, you need to check yourself, because £170 for this shoe, you're out of order asking money for that. I think for a shoe that is relatively limited sort of versatility, I think you're taking the mickey. £170 is a liberty, and you shouldn't be asking for it. If I didn't have that discount code, I would never have bought this shoe. Not on your life. Absolutely not. £170 is not worth it. Do not buy this shoe for £170, people. It really isn't worth it. There's so much better shoes out there for less than £170. Talking of other shoes, stay there. So firstly, Skechers Speed Elite, £130. I've actually seen them for less. And it's kind of similar to a degree. Low stack, hyperburst, carbon plate, sort of mono mesh upper, racing flat. Goodyear rubber on the outside, not Continental, but Goodyear rubber on the outside. Definitely a good comparison. Now, I don't know whether this is a good comparison. Let me know in the comments. I think it is, but it reminds me of it. It's a little bit more of a heel counter, but the Meta Racer from Asics. It's got the Flight Foam Blast in it. We've got, Flight Foam midsole in it. We've got a front-loaded lobster-shaped carbon plate in it. You've got the Asics grip, big slab of that on the outsole. It's a little bit of a thicker upper, but it's more, again, of that sort of racing flat towards the end of the, that spectrum. And again, you can get this for under £130. There is a new version of this coming out. The other one, but you can't really get hold of it, so actually it's probably a bad comparison, is the Puma Elite. Puma Nitro Elite. Again, it's hard to get hold of, but it's that sort of mono mesh upper. You've got the Nitro midsole, but this has got a much higher stack in it, so maybe it's a little bit of an unfair comparison. But I definitely think these two offer a good comparison against this. So how did I find it? Right, again, 3 runs only, people. This is the first impressions, and we're going to be taking these along to the track over the Christmas period and stuff like that, so I'll come back on it. But what's the best? Okay, right. Firstly, in terms of grip, because I think it's good, I love the grip on the outsole. It's this sort of thicker Continental rubber on toe off. It really sort of grinds in and pulls you away. As all of these shoes, they feel better at higher speed, okay? So when I was just, you know, pottering along on the first 3 miles, which was basically just to see what it was all about, I was like, okay, whatever. And I could have been running in any of these shoes, to be honest with you. But when we sort of went off on that 10k and we sort of was licking along, and we was running at that 4:30 per kilometre pace. We dipped a little bit below that, actually was quicker than that out of the blocks, but let's say on average, and our splits were pretty consistent, and considering we was running in fancy dress, I was pleased with it. It felt nice, it felt quick. What the biggest takeaway for me was how stable it felt versus some of the other Adidas shoes that I've run in. So for me, this is a much better alternative to the Adios Pro 2. In terms of the energy rods and all the plates and everything else that's going on in it with the Light Strike Pro, it definitely felt responsive. I think that a lot of that comes from the lightness. I like the the toe off from the shoe. And if you wanted it, and again, I was accelerating where I was filming and stuff like that, I was accelerating through and I was picking it up here and there, but also trying to find that consistency, which I know is a contradiction. But the little speed bursts, it did pick up, and I can see why, you know, over that 5K distance, this rocks it out. I'm also going to take this to a 5K apart run to see what they do, because I think they're a good weapon for a part run as well. Although at that price they're not, but again, we'll climb on to that when I conclude. But yeah, it was definitely a fast shoe. It was definitely a lot of fun to run in. It definitely felt stable. It's much. Yeah, I preferred running in it over that shorter distance than necessarily a Vaporfly. I think that Vaporfly just goes up to that half marathon distance for me. Although I probably think for me a Vaporfly is that little bit quicker. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed it. It was breathable. Yeah, I had that problem across the top. The third run I did, I had a lot more fun in them because I was literally just mucking about in them. I was doing, you know, different variations of pace, and I did have a lot of fun with them. But yeah, I think, I don't know, it's a funny one. Oh, by the way, big shout out to Adidas, 50% plastic in this. So well done, Adidas. I think, yeah, end plastic waste again. So big shout out for them. But I don't know, people, £170 is a lot of money to spend on a shoe that's very, very restricted. And that's my biggest problem with the shoe. If you're like Ben is running, for example, and you're an absolute machine and you need a weapon of mass destruction, then this is you all over. But for us everyday runners, I'm not sure whether it's justifiable. If you get it for £120 and you want to go out and you want to burn up, 10Ks and park run, then yeah, definitely, it's probably a really good shout versus some of these other shoes. But not everyone's got that money, and that's the thing, and that's why I did bring this up, because I think, for example, I know you can't get hold of this bike, but this is much more versatile. I go back to the age-old problem of the Speed 2. I think you'd probably, if you like this kind of ride, you'd probably be suited in the Pro. So the Pro, what is it? Let me know in the comments. I think it's 160, 155 pounds, the Endorphin Pro. So the biggest issue I have with this is actually the price and why you need it. But I totally understand that everybody wants a shoe for different reasons, and we're all different runners. So if you're looking at this because you want a 5K, 10K shoe, then definitely this is a very, very good shoe. And I didn't weigh it, people. I will weigh it before we go. I do it in ounces just for speed. 7.05 ounces. And just as a heads up, the Skechers, 6.4, 125 pounds, 129 pounds. So yeah, yeah. It's a funny one. I enjoyed it. I can't say anything more than that I did enjoy running in it. It is an Adidas shoe that I've actually found myself enjoying, which is unusual for me. Yeah, I can't really add more than that. I think the best thing for me to do is go away, come back and give you a little bit more information. I want to see how this gets on at the track. That's the key for me, because with my sort of marathon training in the new year, I'm going to be doing more track sessions as I try and get my times down over the new year and into 2022. And I think that's why I got the shoe. But I only paid £120, people. And for me, that is where the value is in this shoe.